And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation. And here he is, Michael Savage.
It is the Savage Nation. It is the Savage Nation. Mr. Nobel Peace Prize canceled a summit with Putin. That's a big story. No press conference, no consultation with Congress. The dictator rebukes the summit with Putin. Now, I have a couple of questions for all of you slavish worshippers of Obama. Who is the biggest loser here, Obama or Putin? And here's a second question for you. Aren't we supposed to have a summit when two sides don't agree? Isn't that the object of a summit? It's certainly not to just have a dinner. You sit down with the people you disagree with and work it out. So Obama pulls a hissy fit after visiting his big donors in Hollywood who tell him, look, here's how we play the game here. You're canceling that with Putin. Yes, he says to them. See, I looked into why he actually canceled this, and I have to tell you something, that he actually hurt himself and America's image by canceling the summit, allegedly over Snowden. It was much bigger than over Snowden. I don't believe a word of that. Do you know what I'm talking about? You listening to this show. Do you have any idea who Obama is? Do you know who Putin is? Do you have any idea why this is the most important story of the day? It's because it's never happened before that a so-called president would literally make a major policy decision like this without any consultations, without any press conference. Is he trying to trigger a new Cold War with Russia? There's something crazy about this man. He's getting increasingly narcissistic. He's getting increasingly cut off from reality. He goes on a comedian show to explain himself, not explaining himself through a press conference. This man worries me, and he's got 3.5 more years, big years, to damage America. How do U.S. leaders feel about Russia's behavior? Well, I think I would reverse it. Russia's behavior. Let's see, what did Russia actually do? Russia embraced a fugitive who leaked U.S. secrets. Well, many people in America think that he's actually a whistleblower rather than a traitor. So now Obama uses that as a front to cancel a meeting, a one-on-one summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Really? You think that's the real reason? Well, there are some other big issues facing the U.S. and Russia that are the real reasons, and they're using Snowden as a cover. And one is Syria. Apparently, the United States wants to back al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood called the rebels. Make no mistake about it. McCain, and Graham Cracker went over there to Egypt, and they're backing the Muslim Brotherhood, insisting the Muslim Brotherhood be put back into the political process. And in Syria, McCain and Graham Cracker want us to back al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood against Assad. So whose side is Obama really on? Missile defense, human rights, adoption. You see, last year Putin signed a law that banned U.S. adoptions of Russian children. The move was viewed in the U.S. as a real slap in our face. Well, I don't know that it really is. If you read the list of other issues that are on the table, the last one that's listed is gay rights. Now, I got to tell you something. I think that this announcement of the cancellation of the meeting with Putin is suspiciously related to his visiting, well, I must put it in a very simple way that is not insulting to gay people, but the powerful people of Hollywood, some of whom are trillionaires who happen to be gay, who were the first people to raise money for Obama and put him on the national stage, incidentally. There's no question in my mind they forced him into this position, and it's an untenable position, and America has lost face, and it's a disaster for us. This is what happens when the man starts answering to his donors rather than to his advisors, if he has any left. So I could ask you some questions. Mr. Nobel Peace Prize canceled a summit with Putin. Does it matter to you? Who's acting like the bully here, Putin or Obama? Who's the bigger loser here, Putin or Obama? Aren't we supposed to have a summit when sides do not agree? Does Obama look presidential or more like a snitty child throwing a fit? Now, let me ask you another question. Do you have any idea what this might do to our ability to travel to the space station? You realize that the very same great president terminated NASA, the world's most superior space agency. He eliminated it. Remember I wrote about it in one of my books? Have you forgotten what this man has done to our space agency? He destroyed it. He eliminated it. And what did he do? He said, well, don't worry. We can still get to the space station. We will buy seats on the Russian carrier, the shuttle. Originally, the seats were something like, I don't know what they were. They've gone up tenfold in price. Why? They have a monopoly. I suspect that Putin may now cancel the United States from traveling on the Russian rocket to our space station. The ramifications are overwhelming from what this narcissistic child is doing to us internationally, nationally, domestic. It's astounding. But I guess it's summertime and the living is easy. Obama had the nerve to say after he canceled this summit with Putin on the Jay Leno show something that I found to be rather embarrassing. Well, a lot of things he said that were embarrassing. I want to go to the clip where he says in clip 4 that occasionally Russia slips back into a Cold War mentality. Listen to clip 4.
Were you surprised that Russia granted Snowden asylum?
I was disappointed because, even though we don't have an extradition treaty with them, traditionally we have tried to respect if there's a lawbreaker or an alleged lawbreaker in their country. We evaluate it and we try to work with them. They didn't do that with us, and in some ways it's reflective of some underlying challenges that we've had with Russia lately.
Right. Well, where does he say that they slip back into a Cold War mentality? That's the soundbite I was looking for. Apparently this was mislabeled. And I think that's now the next one, which is clip 5. Let's hear clip 5.
A lot of what's been going on hasn't been major breaks in the relationship, and they still help us on supplying our troops in Afghanistan. They're still helping us on counterterrorism work. They were helpful after the Boston bombing in that investigation. So there's still a lot of business that we can do with them. But there have been times where they slip back into Cold War thinking and a Cold War mentality. And
let's stop right there. I'll ask the audience in America listening to the Savage Nation on over 200 stations on the Savage Nation, who is slipping back into a Cold War mentality here, Putin or Obama? I'll let you decide. Maybe somebody in the government will understand the danger we are in from this crackpot who is running America off the rails on virtually every level, from the economy, military, you name it. The man is taking the country apart brick by brick. He is destroying the greatest nation on earth brick by brick and getting away with it. Why? Because there's no media. The government media complex is really the media government complex. The Democrat Party and the media is by and large a single entity. You know what I'd like to do for you right now in the Savage Nation is take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to play some of the things this man said, Mr. Nobel Peace Prize. Remember he was given a Nobel Peace Prize when he became president simply because he was allegedly the first black president? He got a Nobel Peace Prize before he did anything, remember? Well, isn't a Peace Prize winner supposed to seek peace? Isn't a Peace Prize winner supposed to sit down with an opponent and try to work it out rather than saying, I'm not going to go see you because I don't like what you did on Snowden? Well, it's not about Snowden. It's because some of the big Hollywood donors no doubt sat down with him and said, you know what we want you to do? We want you to cancel your visit to Putin. At least that's one man's opinion. Michael Savage, and I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.